iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Welcome in here, race fans, tonight to the Nashville Superspeedway, just outside the city limits of Nashville, Tennessee. Tonight, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series for Red Light Racing heads here to the hallowed grounds. My name is Roger Muth here in the booth tonight, and I am joined by our resident out of Tennessee, Racing Jason. Welcome here to the Turn 3 Racing Network studios here. Hometown track to you here, just a couple hours away from you in Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right, the big Nashville Superspeedway.
This track here opened back in 2001, and some of the greatest drivers have raced here. Drivers like Greg Biffle, Scott Riggs, Jack Sprague, how about David Green? Even Jason Leffler has raced here, along with Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, and a whole slew of other NASCAR greats. Back in 2001, 3 different series did come here to the Nashville Superspeedway. Of course, the IndyCar Series. Buddy Laser was able to pick up the first ever win, and that was driving a Dallara with an Oldsmobile engine. Back in 2001, when the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series came to town, Scott Riggs took his Dodge into victory lane. It's been a long time since we've seen a Dodge park it in victory lane. And then back in 2001, Greg Biffle took his Ford to victory lane to win the first ever Xfinity Series. Now, this is the first time the Red Light Racing Series has ever come here to the Nashville Superspeedway. These hallowed grounds are filled with drivers that have gone to victory lane numerous times over their careers. Which one of these drivers, though, will be able to smash the guitar? Because, Dobbs, I believe one of your favorite drivers in the NASCAR racing world has been to victory lane here and has done that.
Yes, sir, that would be Kyle Rowdy Busch, smash the guitar. But, you know, really I don't think he smashed it all the way, but, I mean, it was still pretty cool to see.
One of these drivers here tonight will be able to possibly smash a guitar. 2 drivers, though, do come in locked in. Remember, it's a win, and you go to the championship chase to race for a chance to win a championship. The one-time series champion, Max Terriot, he will race for a championship as he was able to pick up the win back at the Atlanta Motor Speedway with the Gander Outdoor Trucks to open the season up. And then Jason Wells last week at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, the 1987 Monte Carlo and Thunderbirds. Well, he was able to go to victory lane and lock himself in for a chance to race for a championship. So with round number 3 being here at the Nashville Superspeedway, those 2 drivers we know are locked in to race for a championship. Who are the other drivers currently that are above the cut line? Well, we do take, I believe, a handful of drivers. I say do believe. We know that a couple more drivers will join them this season. Right now, Blade Timmons is the highest Rookie of the Year candidate, and he is also sitting third in the championship standings coming into tonight. Sean Butler, the all-time winningest driver of the Tour, he is sitting fourth. James Skelton is fifth coming in. He's tied with the great Jeffrey Souza. And then a couple points back, Richard Murdoch is seventh in the standings. Tim Blum is eighth. Welcome back, Tim Blum. Ethan Troutman is ninth, and Joe Strano is 10th. But race fans, it is time to set the grid here tonight in Nashville to get these drivers underway in the Music City. This is, of course, your starting lineup here tonight. Starting lineup is brought to us by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, located in Ayer, Massachusetts. The family-owned and operated Checkered Flag Auto Supply has the knowledgeable staff for all you race fans. They have what you need. Check out the Checkered Flag Auto Supply today. Starting on the front row here, though, is going to be the driver out of South Carolina. It's the captain, the number 86 of James Skelton. Starting in P number 2 here tonight, driving car number 11 out of Ayer, Massachusetts. This will be the number 11 of Sean Single. Starting back in P number 3 here tonight, the youngster. Driving car number 6, he goes by the name of Chris Hammett. And the driver I just got the race with the other night on the iRacing.com platform, driver out of Ohio, driving car number 17, the John Deere entry. This will be Tim Combs. Starting back into P number 5 here tonight, hailing out of Canada. It's car number 42. This is Max Terriol. Starting back in P number 6 then will be the driver out of North Carolina. That will be Rex Hoyle. Starting in the 7th position out of Michigan, driving the Turbo Dork Radical Paints number 98. This is Ryan O'Donnell. Starting in the 8th position, last week had himself a pretty fast hot rod, the 923 out of South Carolina of Blade Timmons. Tony Strano and the Strano Brothers Racing number 3 will roll off from P number 9 here tonight. P number 10 will be the driver of the number 4 here, Jeffrey Souza. 11th will go to Michael Trevarthen on the starting grid. 12th will go to Jason Wills. 13th will go to Sean Butler. DJ Anderson out of Virginia will drive car 51. He'll go 14th. Dalton Williamson will go 15th with Brandon Minto out of Oklahoma in the 16th position. Richard Murdoch will start back there, scheduled to roll off from the 17th starting spot with Ethan Troutman in 18th, Joe Strano 19th, Travis Minto. In the 20th position, Dave Bragg back here tonight. The Bragg Motorsport 31 will go 21st. Brandon Feeney, the Beefy Motorsports driver, lives down the road, will go 22nd. 23rd will be Eric Johnson, Philly Edwards, Joshua Buckley, Rob Higgins, Tim Williams, along with Bruce Potter, Kevin O'Brien, Bob Higgins, and Brian Bianchi. 31 cars make the call here in the Music City. Horsepower is going to be the music behind these drivers here tonight. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series is about to go racing for the first time ever right here at the Nashville Superspeedway. We get ready. Green flag, you see it is in the air. We are racing for the first time here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Sean Single and Chris Hammett will do the dance to turn number 1. Side-by-side battle. There will be the number 6 of Hammett to the inside. A couple cars a little squirrely. That time off turn number 2. Ryan O'Donnell was sideways. Look at Max Terrill. He is coming in car number 42, the black car. Sitting in P number 3 right now. He also is one of the most winningest drivers from the SK Modified side of things. And who will lead lap number 1 as they come back across the line? Give it to the BK Paints number 11, Sean Single, the driver out of Ayer, Massachusetts, will lead the first ever lap here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Dobbs, you always want to be the first when you come to tracks like this.
Yeah, definitely want to get clean air for sure, get going, you know. Let that rubber build up on the racetrack.
This is one of those tracks. It is a concrete 1.3 mile track. It's not a mile and a half. It's not a mile. And, well, you throw concrete on it, and these drivers, oh, boy, one driver going all the way down to the apron there. That's the number 2, the driver out of Florida. Driving the BK Paints number 2 entry, Michael Trevarthen, goes way down yonder here in Tennessee, trying to find the spoons to play on the washboards. And he's picked up 1, 2, 3 positions, 6 positions, actually. That was just 3 positions in one lap as he shot down to the inside and out of turn number 4 on the front straightaway.
You're going to watch if you're from Florida and you come to Tennessee, Roger. These racetracks, you know, they're real tricky. They'll get you.
Yeah, they're used to a little more humidity on the tracks down there, but Sean Single is right now. Peaked himself out about a little bit about just over a quarter second right now over the drivers that are battling for that second position. Max Terrill has the inside advantage with his MK Medic Ford, number 42. He'll make the pass for second, and that'll leave drivers now all the way back there battling for, it looks like, what would be the 7th position. Tim Combs in that John Deere number 17. They say nothing runs like a deer, and I would believe that. I'm a John Deere fan myself, but right now, Tim Combs got to get that Deere. I don't know if they got to shoot a bow and arrow at it or what, but right now, Tim Combs is trending in the backwards as he is one driver, along with a couple other drivers that had to drop to the tail end of the longest line here. So right now, Combs is down a handful of spots. James Skelton also back a couple spots. He's way far back into the field. He actually had to be assessed a penalty. He had to go all the way to the back with the Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86. He has moved up a couple spots here. You see him trying to work to the inside of the Granny Hips Walkers and Kane, number 13 of Joshua Buckley, the driver out of Massachusetts. Right now, that Supra is going to get the better of that Chevy Camaro. So James Skelton is bringing the dogs tonight here to the fight.
Watching that 4-car there, he's bounced off the wall a couple times. You got to be careful here.
Dobbs, this track here, you talk about bouncing off the wall. If you bounce this car off the wall, we know that the 1.5-mile tracks, aerodynamics is very crucial. Well, this is kind of one of those intermediate tracks. It's not quite 1.5 miles, but it's not a mile. How much downforce does this driver need to cut through the air here tonight?
Well, I would say it probably need all of it. When I run these on the sim rig, that if I hit the wall a little bit, it really tightens the truck up or the car. So you don't want to keep the fenders clean on it. And you really don't want to tighten this because it's going to get real tight when these tires wear anyway. So you got to be real careful.
We did hear drivers talking about in practice that once these tires do wear out, we're going to drop off about 1.5 seconds, possibly 2 seconds on a long run. We've already dropped about, maybe 0.3 of a second off the fastest lap of this race, as Sean Single is still the race leader, but he has company now. Check out the Red Light Racing onboard camera here. Mounted on the top of car number 11, Sean Single, qualified P number 2, took the lead on lap number 1, and there you see him. He is out front currently with the BK Paints number 11 over Max Terriel. Terriel, though, one of those wily veterans, you just never know what kind of tricks the 42 has up his sleeve. One driver still up out of the groove. They're almost 3 wide racing back here. That's the battle for the 11th position. Murdoch currently has that 10th spot. Tony Strano is right there behind him. Jason Wells is there. And don't forget, DJ Anderson. He is right there currently. Joe Strano is also back there. Oh, one driver going to go around. Believe that's the 51 of DJ Anderson spinning to the infield. I believe there was contact made there coming out of turn number 2. I think the 51 may have lost his internet connection just for a split second to the iRacing.com server. And remember, Racers, when we talk about that, we talk about how all these drivers, yes, we're here racing tonight at the virtual Nashville Superspeedway. And that means all these drivers are sitting in their house or their garages, their man caves, wherever it may be, racing from home. So DJ Anderson's server, his computer, personal computer, has to communicate with the iRacing server that's located in Massachusetts. And of course, then it gets relayed to all the other drivers along with ourselves here in the Turn 3 Racing studios. And, well, it looked like he may have just, for the split second, dropped connection. Let's take a look here as the truck says they have the replay queued up. Take a look. This is what happens to the 51 of DJ Anderson. There you see it on the camera. He loses connection. Looks like he may have lifted off the accelerator in turn number 2 and nowhere for the 43 of Joe Strano to go other than right into the back. Take another look here right on board with the 43 of Joe Strano, the Red Light Racing on board there. You see it. The 51 disappears, reappears right ahead of him. And away Strano's going to go, leaving the 51 of DJ Anderson spinning down the back straightaway, and then it looked like Anderson actually did go ahead and stall that car. But a couple drivers to pit road, some drivers staying out. Dobbs' tire strategy here tonight. How important are tires on this concrete?
They're going to be real tough. I tell you, this concrete wears those tires out quick. You can't really overdrive the car. You're going to have to stay real patient with them. And guys that like to go hard early, they might struggle a little bit here. It's going to be interesting to see as this race goes on.
Just a handful of laps into this one. One driver winning the race off pit road. That'll be the 42 of Max Terriel. So Terriel will restart back into the 13th position, it looks like, here as everybody makes their way out of pit road. So he'll come out as everybody works here under the first caution flag of the evening. Take a look on the left-hand side of the screen, race fans. That is where all your drivers are running currently. Sean Single, Chris Hammett, Ryan O'Donnell, Dalton Williamson, Brandon Minto, and look who's running 6th. That is James Skelton. So those drivers all currently are staying out here onto the Speedway. A couple other drivers that did stay out, Tim Williams, Brandon Feeney, Blade Timmons, Joshua Buckley, Rob Higgins. It does look like Philly Edwards will bring the Labatt's number 973 to pit road here. So he will come to pit road. There you see that driver out of Western New York. He will bring down the Labatt's Hot Wheels entry. And we talked pre-race here. I know it's early, and is it too early to talk about your favorite paint scheme? I don't know if it is, but that Labatt Blue entry by Philly Edwards, it may kind of but tell you where we're at in the United States here in the studio. But Labatt's is some of our favorites here. Dobbs, I don't know if you have that down in Tennessee.
I don't really know for sure, Roger.
I think you just got one of our other beers, though. Yingling, I think, has now finally made it down into the area there. But, you know, we're saving the beers for a little bit after this, for a little bit of a celebration here after we let these horses sing a little song to us tonight.
Yeah, and I know we got some Busch Lights, son. The camo can. I know those are real big here in Tennessee. So, and you cannot forget the White Lightning. Come on.
Yeah, White Lightning always down here in Tennessee. You know, they call North Carolina one of the states that NASCAR originated from. And, of course, Tennessee being the neighboring state back in Prohibition when the moonshiners all across the southeast were kind of big into it. Of course, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. That is where a lot of the moonshine really came from back in the early days. Those moonshiners would take their old original car that you would be able to go down to the dealership and they soup them up to outrun the police so they wouldn't get caught, because back then that was a big no-no when moonshine was a popular thing down south during Prohibition. Nowadays, you can pretty much get that just about anywhere. The question is, which one of these drivers will be taking the bath in it after this one? Because, well, we're only one lap away from going back to the green flag competition here tonight. Sean Single is still currently going to be restarting as our race leader. Chris Hammett, Ryan O'Donnell, Dalton Williamson. Drivers, remember to take a peek to watch at. That will be starting back there into the 12th position, because that's where the number 42 of Max Terriot will restart. Him and Rex Hoyle are the two drivers that came out of pit road first, and they have the freshest tires. Of course, Terriot putting 4 tires on, while Rex Hoyle looks like he has taken 2 tires, maybe, and fuel in the Colony Tire and Service Center, number 54. Rex Hoyle, of course, I think he remembers Prohibition. I don't want to kind of step out of the line there, but I do know he's one of the oldest drivers here. He might still remember George Washington.
That seems like forever ago.
Well, it just seems like yesterday when George Washington sailed across the Delaware here. Well, I guess I'm telling you all where I'm from already, Dobbs. I've hit it a couple times here tonight, but we're getting ready back into the Checkered Flag Auto Supply restart zone here tonight. We will bring these ponies back up. 2 ponies, 2 Fords on the front row. Here we go. Back to green flag racing here tonight at the Nashville Superspeedway. Everybody going to do the side-by-side jig to turn number 1. Sean Single will lead us into turn number 1. Side-by-side battle low for the second position. Ryan O'Donnell's going to bring the Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry down to the inside. He'll be looking for P number 2 as they storm down the back straightaway.
I saw a little blinkage there from Blade Timmons, looked like a little bit there. I don't know what's going on with his.
Remember, all these drivers racing from home on their personal PCs. And Blade Timmons down there in South Carolina making his rookie campaign this season. Ran real good last week at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Blade Timmons, of course, running down there out of Florence, South Carolina. Runs, I believe it's late models down there. Asphalt late models. Look at them stacked up, jammed up, jelly type back here. It looks like that is Jason Wells trying to go to the inside. Sean Butler's right there, Max Terrell, and I believe that is the 54 of Rex Hoyle. Everybody trying to get good out of these tires while they can. They'll come back to complete the second lap back to green flag racing still. Sean Single out front, but the battle is for second. Ryan O'Donnell still got the Turbo Dork Radical Paints Full Throttle Racing 98. Right there, as he should be able to clear. Chris Hammett in the Winn-Dixie number 6. Here comes that Winn-Dixie number 6, though, down the back straightaway. Chris Hammett got a great run that time off turn number 2, being able to keep the ponies tuned up, but he'll lose that spot. Ryan O'Donnell will fully take P number 2. So it's Sean Single, Ryan O'Donnell, and Chris Hammett. Look who's sitting back there in the 4th position. That is the man, Brandon Minto. I bet he's eating a couple Buffalo Wild Wings and pounding back a Miller Lite or two down there. He's stationed down in Texas with the United States Air Force, and he's flying around the Speedway. Tim Williams, the Canadian bacon eater, he is right there trying to get things done. Good run for him so far. Those new tires, we talked about it, well, they have not made any headway, as they're just about 3 wide racing. Look at Sean Butler. He'll take the number 88 in the middle there. They're clear the number 40 of Rob Higgins. Higgins did not come to pit road, so he is on the older set of tires. Now Sean Butler and Rex Hoyle will go side by side, 3 wide just behind them. There's the 2. That is Michael Trevarthen. He'll go to the middle groove to try and get around the 40 of Higgins. That'll put Higgins back to, oh boy, that looks like sitting in the 18th spot right now. That was Tony Schranel also right there in the Victory Junction gang number 3, working the bottom side of the speedway. Oh, Richard Murdoch going to slide down and take the nose off of car number 64. That Alienware 64 Camaro just had to lift out of the gas to allow Richard Murdoch to have that position to hang on to it. That could have been a really tight moment there.
Could have been terrible. I'm going to watch this 98 car, Roger. I'm sorry, but when I see 98, the only thing I think of is 98 and out the gate. He's in a Ford Mustang. We all know I have a Mustang, and I'm just loving this car.
Well, it's not just the car that you love, Dobbs. It's those flashy colors that are actually starting to run down Sean Single. Sean Single just out ahead of him right now. Look at the hands of Ryan O'Donnell as we ride on board with him on the front straightaway. You hear him lift out of the throttle. Looks like he's able to drive it in just a little bit further into the corner than what Sean Single is right now. And then Ryan O'Donnell also is able to exit a little bit lower, trying to make the track as short of a distance as he can. But will it be able to work for him when they get back around here? Will he be able to actually lead a lap here tonight? We don't know. We will find out. Brandon Feeney, though, is on the outside now of the top 10 as he works the outside groove. Max Terrill will get around him. Sean Single has made his way around. We got Blaine Timmons. He's also right there. He's got to now look in his mirror because he'll see a bunch of the drivers now closing in on him with the fresher tires. James Skelton also doing that. He's going to move up out of the groove in the Flowertown Animal Hospital, number 86. He'll move out of the way. Still battling back here. Jason Wells trying to work to the inside of Conley Tire and Service Center, number 54 of Rex Hoyle. Hoyle, remember, 2 tires stop for Rex Hoyle, and now he's stuck to the outside.
You know, talking about Brandon Feeney, then, you know, this guy runs in real life 5 different cars. He ought to be a heck of a wheelman.
5 different cars, and don't forget about the truck that he runs up there in Canada. He runs with the Ontario Legends division. Runs a truck, runs a late model, I believe ran a super late model a handful of times, and now he runs here on the iRacing.com platform in the off-season and in his free time to get a couple more laps across all the other platforms that he has yet to ever race and compete in. Brandon Feeney, of course, that Liquid Molly is sponsored, the longtime sponsor with Brandon Feeney, along with the K1 Graphics, the Auto Tire, also on board that 38 this season. Also looking for a couple more sponsors to help him out in the real world side of things, so if you're interested in helping out Brandon Feeney up there in Ontario, Canada, make sure to contact the Beefy Motorsports driver of Brandon Feeney. Right now, Feeney has picked up 2 spots, but with those older tires, he is slipping through the field. He's back to running 20th as the inside car there. The Toro number 19 out of Norman, Oklahoma, Travis Minto, is making his way through the field. He'll work the bottom side under Brandon Feeney, and with 23 laps officially in the book, he is going to be scored in 19. Dobbs,
I don't know how these... Yeah.
Don't look now. The 98 is under attack by the 5.
Oh, no. Hey, the 5, you know, that's not good. But what I was going to say, Roger, you know, I don't understand. It's why the outside groove at this track doesn't work itself in. As this race goes on, maybe we could see that, hopefully. But I don't know. That bottom lane is just so much faster.
The bottom lane does seem to be very fast right now here tonight at the Nashville Superspeedway. Everybody is down around the bottom, which you also got to remember and take into consideration. A lot of these drivers have a little bit fresher tires. Oh, contact. Ryan O'Donnell up the track in car number 98. He just got into it. I believe that was with Brandon Minto, possibly. Maybe it was Sean Butler. A little bump draft down the back straightaway. The 42 of Max Terrill into the back of car number 88 of Sean Butler. Maybe we can get the truck and see if they can go back and see the Ryan O'Donnell pass. It was Brandon Minto, I'm being told, that got into him. Let's take a look back here on the replay. There you see Brandon Minto down to the inside. He walks up the track with the get upside entry, and then Ryan O'Donnell goes up the track. Sean Butler, Max Terrill go down the back straightaway and get around. So that is what happened there to Ryan O'Donnell to put him back just a little bit.
Yeah, a little contact here, get yourself settled back down, pull them belts tight one more time. Calm your jets, you'll be all right. Still a long way to go.
When something like that happens, Dom, you put the racer's helmet on right now and you think about it. What just happened there with Brandon Minto getting the inside and washing up the track? He got into Ryan O'Donnell. Obviously, they saw the contact. Both drivers felt the contact. How long does it take till you can get back in the mindset that I can sail that car back off into the corner and this time it will stick?
For me, probably the next curve. But, that's just me. I'm just a hard-nosed guy. But maybe a lap or two, you want to calm yourself down, get the adrenaline kind of settled down a little bit. Still a long way to go. Just calm yourself. I think you'll be all right.
Right now, Brandon Minto sliding back through the field here as there goes the 64 of Jason Wells, the winner from 1 week ago, where he was able to park his car in victory lane at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. He'll now pick up the 6th position as those fresh tires. Remember, we talked about fresh tires? Well, where are they? They are now knocking on the door for 2nd. Sean Butler is looking underneath the Winn-Dixie number 6 of Chris Hammett as they come off turn number 4. This time by, they're going to be scored 28 laps officially in the books here tonight. And Sean Single has been able to lead the way so far, but now he's got fresh tires. And 2 veterans of the series, Sean Butler and Max Terriot, will be there on the back bumper of that BK Paints number 11 as they work down the back straightaway. There's your race leader, and this is the onboard camera facing back. You are now looking at the 88 of Sean Butler, who is coming. He is eating down around the bottom side of the speedway. Dobbs, you touched on, will that second groove rubber up and come in here tonight? We have never been here to the Nashville Superspeedway to bring you, caution flag. Caution flag is out onto the speedway as Sean Single looks like he just drove it down into the corner and washed up also, I believe. Big pile up on the front straightaway. The number 4 of Jeffrey Souza involved. Dave Bragg and the number 31 is involved. Looks like Brian Bianchi, Philly Edwards in that Labatt's blue. Number 9, 73 is pulling away from the wreck. Brian Bianchi, Philly Edwards, Dave Bragg, all cars being scored in that wreck to bring out the second caution flag here of the evening. We have to wait for the truck to tell us what they have for us here. As they say, they got it queued up. Let's take a look back. What happened to Dave Bragg? There you see the Jiffy Lube. Number 31 is... Souza looks like he was trying to pit, and I don't know if a spotter just did not relay. Philly Edwards, nowhere to go. He is just an innocent bystander. There you see the 31 of Dave Bragg. There you see the 4 of Souza also down there. Big pile up here. Let's watch this back here from Souza's onboard camera. You hear him lift. He's coming to pit road. Dave Bragg just right into the back, right rear quarter panel. It'll turn him around. There goes Philly Edwards and Brian Bianchi. Bianchi really getting clobbered in that Culpepper's Bakery Cafe, number 14. That's what's going to bring out the second caution flag here of the evening. There you see the Culpepper's Bakery Cafe gets clobbered by the Labatt Blue entry. So 4 drivers involved in a wreck here to bring out the second caution flag of the evening. And as we show you the replay, yellow flag pit stops, are underway. Who will win the battle off pit road? Dobbs. 4 tires and fuel here. Fill her up.
Oh, absolutely. 4 tires, Sunoco race fuel. Get out and get going. Get that Kyle Larson pit stop, son.
Couple drivers down and away. Who will win the battle? I believe it's going to be Sean Single winning the battle off pit road. Sean Butler, Max Terriot, Chris Hammett, and James Skelton coming out of pit road. 1 driver staying out. It's the driver out of Australia. Driver out of Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia is your race leader. The Hot Wheels leads the way entry. We're just picking on Kevin O'Brien, but he'll stay out here. He will lead a lap here tonight. So Kevin O'Brien will be the first driver to lead a lap that's not named Sean Single. I'm sure Kevin O'Brien, though, will bring down his Ford Mustang here. Ford Motor Company riding on board with Kevin O'Brien here tonight at the Nashville Superspeedway. So as he dives in there, Kevin O'Brien will come to the attention of his pit crew. He'll bring down DJ Anderson. Bruce Potter also coming to pit road. Well, what do you say we dial up one of these drivers here tonight? Let's Let's go ahead and dial up the race leader here, Sean Single, and see what he's got to say behind the wheel here tonight. Sean, it's Muth up here in the booth along with Dobbs. How's that number 11 handling as you're out front here at Nashville?
She's handling pretty good. It's a little tight on the long run, so I'm not sure how much speed I'll have there, but I felt pretty good about keeping people off on coming to the late laps.
You had there on that long green flag run there. You didn't pit under the first caution flag of the evening. Then you had Sean Butler bearing down on the back bumper of this Ford Mustang. Were you worried that those new tires were going to start to eat you up versus how long you had to stay out on the track yet?
I wasn't too nervous. I knew they were coming. I had my teammates telling me, but I was coming up on my fuel run anyway, so I was about to pit in the next lap or so. So wasn't too worried. Glad where my positioning was. I think the gamble with the luck of the caution was good for me. So we'll see what we can do for you for the rest of the race.
Think you can hold them off here on this restart?
We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Sean Butler's one of the best. So
there you hear it. Sean Single telling you from inside the cockpit. Dobbs, he's going to give it all he can here in Nashville.
Well, he's got some orange on that Ford Mustang, so I think he can pull it off.
Yeah, I don't know if he did that for you here tonight or if he did that for, us here in the 33 Racing Studios, of course, rocking that beautiful blue, white, and orange. Of course, you see that in our logo down there. I'm going to say he's doing it for the logo.
Yeah, I'd say so. The Turn 3 is a beautiful logo, and I'd put it on there also.
Well, of course, you being a Tennessee Volunteers fan and myself being a Syracuse Orange fan, of course, both of us, I look down at my hand, Dobbs, and I see my ring. I think we're both wearing orange rings, just different shades.
Yeah, mine has the white tee, so,
So, always coming back to the color orange. We'll see if Sean Single can keep that orange, white, and blue number 11 out front here. We'll come back into the restart zone this time by, though, and it will be Sean Single, Sean Butler, Max Terrell, Chris Hammett, and James Skelton, your top 5 drivers. Jason Wells, Brandon Minto, Tim Williams, Richard Murdoch, and Ryan O'Donnell, your top 10 drivers here. We'll come back this time and take the green flag here tonight for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, presented by Red Light Racing. Race fans, don't forget to head on over to the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. You can find them on Facebook.com. Also, you can find them over at the CheckeredFlagAutoSupply.com. No matter where you're at, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply can get you your parts to keep your car running right and on the street to race some more. Green flag coming here as the iRacing official here tonight at the Nashville Superspeedway. He waves it. Barney the flagman says, let's go dancing. A great start by Sean Single as he'll lead us into turn number 1. The question being, will he be able to lead the first lap back to green flag racing?
Look like 45 of Tim Williams and the 64 Jason Wells had a little contact there, Roger.
Got to keep those fenders clean. Right now, though, Sean Single did lead the first lap back to green flag racing. He'll continue that trend here as Max Terrell will take the second spot away. So Max Terrell now running in P number 2 deep into the field, though a lot of jockeying for positions. Tim Williams on the outside right now. There you see car number 61 of Dalton Williamson just works down to the bottom side of the speedway. Unsponsored number 61, 2-time champion in the SK modified portion of things here with Red Light Racing. Of course, was a rookie last season. Rookie campaign not going the way he wanted here with the Scrambler Series, but he's back to give it another whirl, and he is inside the top 10 right now. Biggest mover and shaker of the race is Tim Williams, though he has picked up 17 spots. He is running right there in that blue and black, number 45, driver out of Canada. He's hungry like a wolf, and he's trying to squeeze it 3 wide. The door will slam on him as Ryan O'Donnell and Brandon Minto said, nope, wrong kind of bacon, my friend.
Wrong kind of bacon. I'm wondering if these drivers get a little side draft up there on that outside, see if they couldn't pull across on the inside where they can make that outside work. I'm just interested to see if this outside comes in.
Well, we're going to find out right here as the number 11 of Sean Single for the first time tonight does not have the number 11 out front. Here comes the 42. Max Terrell will lead down the back straightaway. Look at the side draft. The 11 just had out of turn number 2, but he'll have to give it all up as they enter corner number 3. Single with a little bit of a wiggle that time down in the entry of turn number 3. Out of 4, it's going to be Sean Butler to his inside wiggling. But for the first time under green flag conditions tonight, car number 42 will go to the point. Sean Single is no longer the leader. third time we've had a race lead change here tonight as Max Terrell storms from the north here to Tennessee. He is the new race leader. The battle is still for second, though, as here comes the 88 of Sean Butler. Which one of the Seans will be in second position when we come back around here to complete lap number 39? Of course, 39, one of the best numbers out there, eh, Dobbs?
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, at the line, let's take a look at it. Sean Single by the splitter of his Chevrolet will have P number 2. Sean Single will be back there in third. And who is that? The two-time champion. The driver out of South Carolina. There is James Skelton. He is going to be scored right now in P number 4, but he wants P number 3. Can he get it? Sean Single is treading water in his boat right now. That Ford Mustang is a boat, and it is not going out there on the river tonight. It is not singing a nice tune here in Nashville, because now James Skelton was scored in that third position as they came across the start-finish line. And Sean Single will be scored now back into fourth. Chris Hammond still rounds out the top 5. The foundation of Richard Murdoch is sitting back there. He is sitting in 6th position. Dalton Williamson is 7th. Jason Wells is 8th. Tim Williams is back there running in 9th. And Brandon Minto currently rounds down the top 10.
You know, look at the Toyota Supra there in that 86 Skelton. These cars really get tight. I'm serious. When you drive a Toyota on this iRacing sim, it really gets tight when you're in traffic. He's got to get his way to the front right here.
Dobbs, you talk about the tight conditions with these Toyota Supras versus the Chevrolets and the Fords. What makes the Toyota just a little bit tighter in traffic over those Chevrolets and the Fords?
I don't know. I don't know if it's front of the way the nose is shaped. I have no idea. But I drive the Mustang in the Xfinity Series, and I drove the Toyota for a while, and it was just so tight when you're in traffic. I couldn't do nothing with it. And as a driver like that, it really frustrates you. So I don't know how they fix it, but it really is a tight car.
Well, he's been able to figure it out for the last 2 seasons as he's taken the 86 Flowertown Animal Hospital-sponsored Toyota to victory lane numerous times and also picking up the 2 back-to-back championships. So we'll see if he can get it done here tonight. Had to start shotgun on the field for an inspection violation, post-race inspection violation last week, so that set him and his crew back to the tail end of the field. He has now worked himself back up, though, sitting P number 3. He did qualify. He was able to hold his top qualifying time. And unfortunately, had to make all that track position up here tonight, as he has officially caught the front 3. Everybody pretty much single file, except for Mr. Blade Timmons, driver out of South Carolina. That BK Paints, number 923, Rookie of the Year contender, is sitting in the 15th position as he's trying to get around Ethan Troutman, the body armor number 62. Of course, Troutman, one of those Tennessee boys out here tonight trying to get it done in his home state. And Dobbs, we refer to you as the racer and the resident from Tennessee. How much would it mean for you if you were in this race tonight and you were from Tennessee, able to go to victory lane?
I'd be pretty stoked, I tell you. I love the state of Tennessee, and I love when other drivers are from Tennessee racing at the home track in Tennessee, but that would be pretty exciting to win at a home track like that.
Well, there's an opportunity here tonight for a couple of the drivers through the field to win either in their home state or their home track considered here in the iRacing.com platform. Right now, though, for Troutman, he is trending in the backwards direction since we've gone back green flag racing. He has dropped 3 spots since we went back racing. Now as Blade Timmons works to the inside of him, will he be able to hold on to that spot, or will maybe Troutman be able to put the power down to the ground on that Ford Mustang and gallop back around the outside? This is the best we've seen the outside lane work here, with Troutman to the outside of Timmons. Timmons in that Chevrolet down low there. The outside lane, maybe since we are over the halfway point now, maybe, just maybe, the outside's starting to work itself in.
Yeah, and he's doing the right thing. He's getting that side draft there on Timmons, and me and Timmons been friends for a while, and I know how hard he likes to race people. But if I'm Troutman, I'm doing the same thing, closing up on that quarter panel, and I'm going to make it hard, and I'm going to try to get by him on that outside.
These are 2 hard-nosed drivers. Of course, you have raced with Timmons a number of times, and I've raced with Timmons on the short tracks, and I have got out and mixed it up with Troutman a handful of times here in the NASCAR series, across the big 3 divisions. And both these drivers are not going to give an inch. They are going to make you work for every inch that you can get out there. But now it finally looks like that Blade Timmons entry will get around Troutman, but Troutman's going to cross back over. He'll have the inside advantage here. Timmons going to leave the door open. Timmons tries to slam it. There's that arrow push. The nose of that 62 was just close enough to the 923 there of Blade Timmons. It got Timmons a little out of shape.
Yeah, that's something you got to watch out for if you're Blade, you know. You don't want to get that car loose out of the corner and hit that wall. That would be terrible knot, injure knot right there.
Couple drivers that got wrapped up in an earlier wreck here tonight. They're still out there on the speedway. Remember the 4 of Jeffrey Souza? He was wrapped up in a wreck. Well, he is still out there tonight. He is one of those drivers that came in above the cut line. Remember, he was actually sitting tied for 5th with James Skelton coming into the night, trying to have himself a good run here at the Nashville Superspeedway. Of course, he was one of the championship 4 contenders last season, so he came in with a big target on him this season to see if he could continue the hot streak that he had last year. As I'm being told, one driver slipping through the field drastically had a big moment. I believe that was Travis Minto. Travis Minto and Joe Strano and Tony Strano all getting close to each other there. And it does look like the 3 of Tony Strano is now fading backwards. There's DJ Anderson. He was wrapped up to bring out the first caution flag of the evening, and now you see him in the police Toyota. That damage, it looks like his crew has pushed out that rear quarter panel. The spoiler, they've banged on it a little bit. Can't fix much more than what they have. Somebody better call 911 if they want to fix more of that. But DJ Anderson, the driver out of Virginia, is currently back up to the 18th spot. Started in 14th and made his way closer to the front. But then with that wreck happened with him and Joe Strano, sent him to the back. And he went a lap down. He is back on the lead lap and trending to the front. Still has some right side cosmetic damage also.
You know, I just got a social media, Twitter, their notification is the 13 of Josh Buckley. They're talking about maybe changing his numbers up because it's too dark to see the number, and NASCAR is not liking that. So we'll have to see what happens there next race if we can get that changed, Roger.
Well, we'll have to see what the officials have to say about that. The old Granny Hips Walkers and Kane Checkered Flag Auto Supply Chevrolet. That's right, I said Chevrolet. You know, he's been heartbroken. I don't know if the officials are going to harp on him too much about that number. I mean, you as well as I do, we follow the NASCAR racing scene. And, of course, his favorite driver used to drive the number 2. Josh Buckley drove the number 2 for the longest time. And Brad Keselowski no longer the driver of that number 2. So it makes me wonder, what number do you think Josh Buckley will race here in the upcoming season? Because you think big old Brad is going to get car 6?
Yeah, I think so. We're going to find out tomorrow, I think, is when they reveal that. I saw earlier that it was 24 hours away, so tomorrow I think is the big day.
Well, we'll see what the big announcement is, and we'll see if there's an announcement out of the Buckley Racing Stables driver out of Massachusetts. Of course, switching up his numbers. We'll see if anything changes there. A couple drivers did come to pit road, though. Philly Edwards in the Labatt Blue entry, the driver out of New York, did come to pit road. It was 4 tires and fuel for the 973. Bruce Potter also coming down pit road. It looks like he's coming back out onto the speedway. The God Bless America number 59 is coming back out. The driver out of Alabama, bringing the Toyota Supra back up to its song and dance with the old clunky 4-speed. If you're wondering about the race leaders, well, let me tell you something, race fans. Nothing has changed out front. It's still the same 3 cats out front. The cool cats, Max Terrill, Sean Butler, and James Skelton still running 1, 2, and 3. Chris Hammond is still 4th with Sean Single back there into the 5th position. Nothing has changed in the top 5. Your best battle on the speedway right here. Dalton Williamson trying to side draft the adventure in Pixel 01 of Richard Murdoch. Murdoch has picked up his 10th position there as he got around the 61 of Dalton Williamson. Here comes Brandon Minto. He is bringing that Buffalo Wild Wings Get Upside entry. First time we've seen the Get Upside sponsorship on this number 5 entry of Brandon Minto. I'd say we get a word in with Minto, but he's in a heated battle right now.
Yeah, you know, I'm a little devastated right now, Roger. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, and we have no orange Tennessee car or no Tennessee Titan car. I am just devastated.
I didn't hear anybody sing Rocky Top either tonight, Dobbs.
Well, if they want to hear somebody, just give me a minute and I'll get it going.
You want to talk about getting something going? Look at Brandon Minto go to the inside, and look at everybody that is stacked up behind him. It's Minto to the inside here, running in the 8th position. Dalton Williamson back there running in 9th. Rex Hoyle, Blade Timmons, Tim Williams, Ethan Troutman, Tim Combs, Ryan O'Donnell, and then there's Joe Strano also right there. Oh, boy, big moment there for Timmons. Timmons just had to avoid his teammate. Dalton Williamson was up into the outside wall. Now there's one car up there, I believe, blinking a little bit. Is that the Blade Timmons entry? Everybody had to scatter that time out of 4.
Well, that looked rough. That looked like downtown Nashville Broadway traffic right there.
That's a lot of cars out there, and they were jammed up jelly tight like that. Blade Timmons is having a little bit of connection issues. We'll see what the officials say about that. Contact back here, though. Williams into the outside wall. Dalton Williamson now going to go around. Travis Minto involved. Hard contact for the 61. Oh, boy, of Dalton Williamson. I think that connection may have just played a big moment in this race here, bringing out the 3rd caution flag of the evening. We'll have to wait, because that's going to be a big one, Dobbs. There's a lot of cars involved in that one. A lot of cars that maybe got just some scrapes through the grass. They went.
That looked like the junkyard down there where where the Titans play.
They changed their name to the Tennessee Crushers.
No, but where the Titans play now, it was a junkyard before it became the Nissan Stadium.
Ah, the Nissan junkyard. Got it. That's why they're not at NASCAR.
You never know with how NASCAR is going. I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Right, let's take a look back here at Tim Williams and see what happened if we can get this. There's the contact between him and Troutman. Looks like Williams down the track just a little bit. Dalton Williamson nowhere to go. DJ Anderson was into the back of the Ryan O'Donnell entry. Travis Minto looks like he is involved. Take a look at the Toro entry. Oh, he gets clipped by Tim Combs. Combs, hard impact as he is involved in this.
When the Xfinity Real Life came here, there was a big wreck like that on the front straightaway.
It's a tricky track here at Nashville, and when 2 cars get together, these cars are just about flat, wide open. And that's exactly what we just saw there. With those cars coming together here, maybe we can slow it down if we can get a zoomed out camera. Let's slow it down here. You see there's already the Bible by the body armor number 62 of Troutman. And then you can see right there the cars are just locked together here. And a big, oh, look at the hip check net code there to Tim Williams. He goes up the speedway. And then Dalton Williamson with another net code into Tim Williams. Around goes Travis Minto. There's a lot of net code going on in this wreck. There's Tim Combs. There goes Tony Strano. It's his fault. He goes down into the grass. Ryan O'Donnell and DJ Anderson all involved. Joshua Buckley will get the Granny Hips Walkers and Kane entry woed up, and he'll actually go clip the grass, and he'll come back out onto the track. A-OK for Joshua Buckley. But, man, that one could have been a lot worse than what it was. It was a big wreck, that is for sure. You see Souza coming in there. He slows her down. But, man, a handful of cars there, their nights may have just ended in turn number 4.
Yeah, they'll be on that 5-minute crash clock there, and that's not a good sign when you're all tore up like that here at Nashville.
As we look at it, the iRacing.com pace car lights are on. Race fans, we got to thank you all for tuning in here tonight, of course, to watch the Checkered Flag Auto Supply here for Red Light Racing. Checkered Flag Auto Supply, not just your Scrambler Series sponsor here on Monday night. They're also sponsoring the SK Modified portion on Thursday night, which is coming. Modified's coming to the track here for Red Light Racing. We used to run the SK Modified. Handful of seasons over there. A lot of drivers love the SK Modifieds. Well, they all went to the board meeting at the end of the season and said, we'd like a little more horsepower up under the hoods of our cars. So they said, well, if we're going short track racing, why don't we get out the Modified? It's the upgrade. It is the Whalen Modified will be coming from Red Light Racing this season. So we're going to see a whole new level of racing competition here in 2021 leading into 2022. Which one of these drivers will be able to tame the beast of the Modifieds? It's a whole nother breed from what we see here on Monday night when we do see of course, the Scrambler Series running everything here underneath the NASCAR banner, from the NASCAR Next Gen cars to the NASCAR Gen 6 cars to the Xfinity cars, the trucks, and the 1987 Winston Cup machines. We've already seen the Gander Outdoor trucks. We've already seen the NASCAR Winston Cup 1987 cars. And, of course, now here tonight we see for the first time, we see the Xfinity cars. Bruce Potter will get a lap back waved around the iRacing.com pace car, so he'll get ready to go back green. Next week, we do head to the Tricky Triangle in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. The Pocono Raceway will be the next stop for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series, as we will head to the tricky 3-turn triangle oval. That doesn't even sound right. 3-turn tricky triangle oval. Well, either way, we'll go 65 laps on November the 22nd before we head to the Iowa Speedway. The first time we will see the NASCAR Next Gen cars at the Iowa Speedway on November the 29th for 125 laps. That'll be the halfway portion of our regular season races before we head to Darlington, the Too Tough to Tame track down there in South Carolina. The Gander Outdoor trucks will make their return to the racing surface before we head to Watkins Glen. The 1987 cars will come back out on December the 13th before we head to the other concrete track, which, well, the Dover International Speedway. That's on the docket on December the 20th for 100 laps. Kansas Speedway in the Next Gen car for 90 on January the 3rd. And Talladega, the final race before we go to the Chase for 65 laps on January the 10th. First, though, we got to finish things off here in the Music City. Nashville Superspeedway, stand up, here we come, because the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series is back to racing.
That's a mouthful, Roger. Now I want to know is these drivers have enough fuel to make it the rest of the way?
That is something we will have to take a look at here. And no, I'm being told by the stat guy over here on the right of me, there is not enough fuel in these Xfinity cars to go the rest of the way. So these drivers that did not come to pit road under that last caution flag, they will all have to pit again. But Max Terrell says, I'll sing the song, I'll lead the first lap back to green. Sean Butler, Chris Hammett are doing a side-by-side jig at the start-finish line. Here comes the youngster, Chris Hammett. He runs a legend here in the United States. So contact! Oh. Contact, and around is going to go James Skelton. That's going to be a big one incoming. Tim Combs, Joshua Buckley, Joe Strano, Tony Strano, Brandon Feeney, a couple other drivers on the back straightaway. Kevin O'Brien has also stopped. Bob Higgins, Tim Combs, Bruce Potter, Brian Bianchi, all involved here to bring out the caution flag. With 25 laps to go, the fourth caution flag of the evening will fly here at Nashville. And, man, every time we have one, Dobbs, it seems like they get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching Talladega or Daytona. They just have a melee of wrecks right here.
Well, let's check it out. Watch James Skelton there in the 86. Sean Single will dive down to the inside, and they make the contact right there. See Sean Single's car kind of bounced, and then Murdoch in there, and look at it. Joe Strano's already spinning around. Look at Brian Bianchi. Bruce Potter bringing in the God Bless America number 59. He is involved. There you see Kevin O'Brien. There's the Granny Hips Walkers and Canes number 13. He'll need a walker to walk out of that car here tonight. There's the 43 of Joe Strano. The Road Rage Accessories number 43. They tell me
heavy melee.
They tell me we have an onboard camera actually with Joe Strano here, so I'm interested to see what kind of camera footage we have off the Road Rage Accessories car. Right on board with Joe Strano here as he goes down into the corner. There's the sideways 86. Oh, he gets turned around. There's Tony Strano. He makes a little contact with his brother. Watch this back and see. Let's ride backwards here. Who gets into the 43? Up. Tony Strano. It is Tony Strano's fault again. And as I say that, race fans, that's the inside joke of Red Light Racing, that it is always Tony Strano's fault.
So that's kind of like the Darrell Calder there in Salt Flat Racing. It's always his fault, in my opinion.
Well, you never know. Let's take a look. Over top here. Watch it slow-mo. Watch the contact gets initiated here. There's the 11 right there. You're going to see the 11 kind of shake. The 86 is going to go up the Speedway, and around goes James Skelton trying to correct that car. He's trying to drive it the whole way. See Murdoch into it, and then Sean Single with another bounce off the left front of James Skelton. Skelton's roof flaps deploy, but his car is into the outside wall, stuffed it hard. A lot of damage there. There you see Joe Strano getting turned by Tony Strano. There's Brandon Feeney. Feeney literally just missed the 86, and then some oil down to the top side of the Speedway. There you see the 41 of Bob Higgins. And the Culpeppers, number 14, all coming in here along with Joshua Buckley. There's Tim Combs. He is sliding around in car number 17. There he goes. And nothing runs like a deer. I guess nothing crinkles like a deer either. So
yeah, I tell you, Brandon Feeney, he did a good job missing that wreck, Roger.
Yeah, the beefy motorsports driver, the driver out of Ontario, Canada, the Platinum RVs, Liquid Moly, K1 Graphics, tire entry. He does have some damage on the nose of that number 38 entry, so we'll see how fast he will get up to speed. Well, we're over the halfway point home here tonight, and that means it's got to be time to talk to the 5 machine of Brandon Minto under the caution flag. Minto, give it to me.
I'm actually having fun out here. This is a lot better than those 87 cars that we drove last week, so just got to brake a little early, save the tires, and I feel like I have a long run car, so I hope this thing can stay green for the rest of the way, and I hope there's no more cautions.
Now you look out ahead of you, and by the way, I didn't provoke you for the 1987 comment there either, but you look out ahead of you. You see a lot of damaged cars. What's going to happen here on this restart? Is the damage going to play a big factor in the way these cars get up to speed?
I'm not too sure. I think it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. Like last restart, at least in front of me, everything seemed to go smooth, and maybe this little bit of damage that all these cars in front of me have will give them a little more downforce and keep them stuck to the track and go fast to the turns a little bit. But I hope I can get a good restart here, but I have no clue.
Well, Brandon, there's fans out there, and they want to know how many.
I am 8 deep right now.
8 deep, and he'll restart into the 10th position. Brandon Minto, race fan, says he's got a car that he thinks can compete on the long run. We're about to find out because we're going to go back green flag racing here. It'll be the number 42 of Max Terrell out front. Sean Butler will restart P number 2 along with Chris Hammett back in 3rd. Jason Wells will be 4th. And Sean Single will restart P number 5. Richard Murdoch with the front nose damage will restart in 6th. Rex Hoyle will restart in 7th. 8th will go to Ethan Troutman, Eric Johnson in 9th, and Brandon Minto back there in the 10th position. What do you say? It's going to sing a pretty song here when they come to the start-finish line. It'll be just 21 laps to go here tonight in Nashville, race fans. As they come back, green flag is up here in the Nashville Superspeedway. Max Terrell to the start-finish line first. He is down and away. He'll clear by turn 1. Sean Butler will clear the 64 of Jason Wells as they go to exit turn number 2. That'll leave Wells and Hammett side by side doing a jig down the back straightaway. The Winn-Dixie check drinks down on the bottom. Chris Hammett trying to get it done here on the bottom side. Wells really working it. Both drivers ice skating off turn number 4. It'll be Chris Hammett at the line over Jason Wells. Sean Single's back there. He's holding on to it because look at the foundation down to the bottom. Both drivers with heavy damage to both their Xfinity cars here tonight. Oh, Sean Single got to go right back on the quarter panel of that adventure in Pixel 01 of Murdoch. Murdoch trying to gain another spot there, but man, Sean Single not just going to give it up with just 20 laps to go. Still need one more pit stop, I believe, to make it the rest of the way.
Yeah, you know, Sean Single may have a little damage from that wreck there, that last
3
caution.
wide!
Wrecking.
3 wide around goes Rex Hoyle. Rex Hoyle in the Colony Tire and Service Center number 54 has gone around. That'll bring out the 5th caution flag here of the evening. We'll try and get the Colony Tire and Service Center number 54 turned back around. Unfortunately, it will not be the finish that Rex Hoyle would like. You know, we talk about him being the wily veteran of the series here with Red Light Racing, and when I say the wily veteran, he has started racing. He raced in real life in the Virginia, North Carolina, West Virginia area for a number of years. And then now recently, he has come to the iRacing.com platform to do some more racing, get some more seat time. He says it's a lot cheaper to race here on iRacing than it is to race in the real world side of things, and boy, can we believe it. Of course, Rex did start focusing on sim racing back in 1999. Rex Sr. raced back in Waynesboro, Virginia at the Eastside Speedway is where he got his start. Also raced a 55 Pontiac. We haven't seen one of those in years.
That'd be cool to see, Roger.
So let's go take a look here, see what happened to Rex Oil here on lap number 72. Turned on the front straightaway. There you see the 33, and we're going to have to go back and see if we got another view. That was his in-car camera view there with Rex Oil. Showing you the hands. There you see it, the 33, the Dirty Mo Radio, number 33, right into the side of the Connolly Tire and Service Center, number 54, Geppetto's Pizza. And Rex Oil goes for a little bit of a spin, and he'll come to a rest on the infield there, but the caution flag had already flown from our officials. So he'll get it pointed in the right direction, but he had some damage from a previous wreck, and now his night is not going to be where he wanted to finish this one, that is for sure.
Great moves by the pretty boy Blade Timmons there. He cut up just in time so he wouldn't be in that wreck, Roger. I don't know if you saw that or not, but good move by Blade.
Let's take a look back here. Let's see if we can ride on board with Blade Timmons. There you see the 54, and I think he actually may have just got the splitter up underneath him. But Timmons does stay out of that one. You know what I did notice, though, Dobbs?
What's that, buddy?
None of the race leaders came to pit road.
Oh, that's interesting. I'd have got some tires right there if I was seeing that. I would try to get up through there. I don't know.
Well, it's time for one of those famous talks with a driver that is out there tonight. Let's take a talk with driver the number 43 here of Joe Strano. Joe, it's Muth up here in the booth, and we got to talk to you. The fans want to know what transpired out there between you and the 3 machine.
It was just, chaotic situation. I was trying to communicate with him to tell him to get down on the apron and, give me some space to clear that wreck. I'm assuming that's what people are talking about. But unfortunately, with that kind of chaos going on, you can only do so much. So he wasn't able to get slowed down fast enough, and I just got spun around.
So now the Road Rage Accessories 43 has some road rage damage. It's a road rash, it looks like. Is it still competitive, and can we still beat Tony because it's his fault?
I think so. It is hard to tell because I'm kind of racing around some damaged cars back here as well. It felt like it still had some drive in it, but, this next restart will give me the best idea, so looking forward to putting on a show here.
Can the car make it the rest of the way on fuel?
That is a question. Actually, yes, I do know the answer, and I do believe I have enough fuel.
Well, let's send it here, my friend, and see if we can beat the 3 car. Let's put a goal out there tonight to beat the 3 car. Otherwise, you owe us one of those Brandon Minto-style drinks.
You got it, boss. Enjoy.
So there you hear it from the driver of the Strano Brothers Racing, number 43 here tonight. Joe Strano says they have enough fuel. There is some damage, and Tony will start right outside of him.
And I've noticed that some of these cars up front's got a little damage, and they're doing pretty good. So maybe in the Xfinity Series that the damage really don't hurt the downforce on these race cars.
Well, remember, they do run the composite body here in the Xfinity Series. Of course, NASCAR will switch to the composite carbon fiber bodies next year with the Dallara entries coming into NASCAR next year, so they will run this similar body to the Xfinity Series. The only difference is I believe the Xfinity cars at this point actually have more horsepower and less downforce than what the NASCAR Cup cars have. So these drivers do have a little bit more of a handful. You talk about the drivers that are out towards the front here, though, that do have the damage. Richard Murdoch will restart in the 6th position. He has damage to the Adventure in Pixel 01. Then to the inside of him, starting in 5th, will be the 11 of Sean Single. He's got damage. Then the 62 of Troutman. He's up here. He has damage. The Dirty Mo Radio 33 has some damage. Blade Timmons has some damage. And the 4 of Souza, look at him rebounding. He's inside the top 15. He has damage also. But we're ready to go back racing here. It will be 14 laps. It'll be a sprint to the end here. Max Terra will lead us down here to the green flag zone. There you see the green flag is in the air here tonight. We are going to come back through the 4 speed here in Nashville. Let them sing a pretty song in Nashville. Great start for Max Terriot once again. It'll be Chris Hammond and Sean Butler again side by side in turns 1 and 2 as they storm down the back straightaway. It is going to be a dead heat race. Drivers in the mid-pack jockeying for positions like the number 2 of Michael Trevarth, and he's back there trying to find a way. Look at Sean Single really pushing the 6th round the bottom side of the speedway in turn number 3. Coming back to lead that first lap back to green. Still going to be the 42 of Max Terriot out front. The battle is still on for second.
Yeah, these guys are dicing it up, getting 10 to go right here. It's going to get real interesting to see who's friends with who.
Dobbs, if you get the 10 to go, do you have friends out there?
No, I don't. You can ask my teammate Steve Pugh. I'll run him over to get to another position. I've done that before.
I believe that one crossover attempt here by the 64 of Wells not going to happen. Look at Blade Timmons down to the inside trying to get around Brandon Minto. Minto will slam the door down into turn number 1. Minto trying to get around the 62 of Troutman. Rhino Donnie way up out of the groove in turn number 1. The Turbo Dork Radical Paints Full Throttle Racing number 98 is definitely inside the gate here tonight.
Yeah, that's not good. You know, when you drive a 98 car, you want to be out the gate. You know what I mean? It just sounds so good.
So Ryan O'Donnell right now treading water here, trying to keep his head above as he is down 6 spots since we went back to green flag racing. Ryan O'Donnell now under attack by the 51 of DJ Anderson. Remember, Anderson had his woes in the beginning of the race with Joe Trano. 1 car around. Travis Minto has gone around and going to take a couple more cars with him. There is the 38 of Brandon Feeney. There's the 184. No, Dave Bragg into the 38 after the caution flag was over. I don't know if there was some oil down there or what. He was not able to slow down. Car number 31 as Dave Bragg is now involved. Handful of drivers here in caution flag with 10 laps to go. We'll bring out the 6th caution flag of the evening. If you thought 14 laps was going to be a shootout, oh boy, you better buckle up in your rocking chair, Grandpa, because this one's about to get wild when we do go back racing here. Take a look at Travis Minto. What happened to the driver out of Norman, Oklahoma? Oh, Brandon Feeney drives it in down onto the apron. He goes, and then pinball machine between a couple of those other drivers is what's going to bring out the caution flag. You see Dave Bragg when he goes back into the throttle. Brandon Feeney trying to turn around. Kevin O'Brien just trying to back it off the racetrack. It does look like Josh Buckley was involved. I don't know if he actually, did he drive away? Yep, there he is on the screen. He did drive away. Let's watch it on board here with Dave Bragg. There you see the 38 of Feeney go down there, and everybody checked up, and right into the back of that sim box 13 went Bragg. So a rough one for these drivers that were trying to make it to the end of this race. But this does help, Dobbs. More caution laps here tonight. Going to allow these race leaders to save a lot of fuel under the yellow flag laps.
Yeah, save fuel and get the tires cooler, you know, for this maybe the last run. You don't know if that's going to be the last of the cautions, but this is where it really gets intense. You know, the anxiety starts picking up. Things start happening. Chaos, I guess you could say.
Chaos? Chaos? Is that sort of like playoffs? Because if you win, you're in the playoffs.
That's right, you know, and that's how racing works nowadays. If you win, you're in the playoffs, so.
Well, we dialed up the other half. Now let's dial up this half. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to the driver of the number 3, Tony Trano. I'm told it's your fault.
I mean, didn't we said at the start of the season that it's always my fault in there?
Well, now everybody blowing up the Twitter, the YouTube, and the Facebook feeds want to know what transpired there between you and car number 43.
I mean, it was just like you said earlier, it was just chaotic. I mean, when it was all going on in front of us, he was telling me to get low. I was on the brakes trying to get down as far as I could, and then next thing I know, I saw his driver's side door in front of me.
And you spun your own brother out.
Yeah, I'm not too happy with that.
Well, the car still looks good, so that's the good news. Does it still have the speed that we can run away from the 43 and get this top 10 finish at least?
I think so. I've been actually feeling really good all week at this track. So, I mean, it's obviously not going to, you know, equal a win, but I feel like I can get a top 10 for sure.
Well, you're going to have a shootout here to finish this one off, Tony. A lot of fans out there now pulling for you after that scuffle.
Yeah, hey, hopefully everybody enjoys this last little, 7-ish laps?
He's going to send it, race fans. Tony Strano ready to go to battle. His war will start when we go back green flag racing. He'll have to restart, though, back in the 11th position. Everybody's still chasing the 42 of Max Terriel. And while we have time, race fans, we have to thank all the race fans that are tuning in here tonight, whether you're watching us live on the Turn 3 Racing Network Facebook page here tonight, or if you're watching us live over on the Turn 3 Racing YouTube page. We thank each and every one of you for tuning in here tonight to watch the Scrambler series for Red Light Racing. Of course, this season, the Checkered Flag Auto Supply stepping up in a big way, taking the naming rights to not only the Scrambler series, but the SK Modified side of things. So it's the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified series and the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler series here on Monday night. If you're interested in more racing action with the Red Light Racing series, make sure to head on over to redlightracing.net. You can keep up with all the racing action, all the racing stats, and all the coming races over on their website. Also, you can find their fan page over on the Facebook side of things, Red Light Racing on Facebook. But Dobbs, are you ready to go back racing?
Oh yeah, I got my M&Ms right here. I'm ready to go.
Well, let me tell you something, Dobbs. Put the M&Ms down on the rig for just a moment, because 6 laps to go. A shootout for sure here in Tennessee. Who will win this race? And you don't want to choke on an M&M. I'm not coming to Tennessee to save you.
Well, that's a little ridiculous, you know. I mean, I'd come up there to help you out, but I mean, you won't come down here to help me out. That's a little ridiculous.
Well, it's about an 8.5-hour car ride, and we know with my back that's not going to feel very good. Or, well, we'd have to fly in, and it's still going to be 4 hours. You'll be blue before I get there.
Well, they got a nice airport in Nashville, but we're about to go green flag racing right here.
As they come back into the restart zone here tonight at Nashville, we're racing once again. 6-lap little bit of a shootout. Max Terriel not going to get that great of a start like we have seen it all night long. The race leader. Oh, look at Sean Butler. He is trying to get down to the bottom side of the speedway as fast as he can go. The 88 will be able to retain that second position. The battle is for third now. Chris Hammett, Jason Wells, Sean Single with his damage. Number 11 is hanging right there. How about Blade Timmons? He has come back through the field here, and he is now trying. Caution flag is out onto the speedway. Ryan O'Donnell in the 98. Dobbs, he's turned around.
Oh, man, we're going to see if we can get him a number change or something.
So Ryan O'Donnell's day that was going pretty good in the beginning, then kind of fell off the tracks, has now really derailed here in the Music City. And his car is loud, and that is for sure like the music that they are playing here tonight. Let's take the look. Ryan O'Donnell down the back straightaway. There goes Murdoch down to the inside. Kevin O'Brien 3 wide. O'Brien drifts up the speedway into the left rear quarter panel of Ryan O'Donnell. No other cars involved, but Ryan O'Donnell is going to be the caution flag, or the cause of the caution flag, we should say. There you see Kevin O'Brien up against the outside wall then. So a rough day for Ryan O'Donnell as he does not come to pit road. Let's see what Ryan O'Donnell has to say about that one. Ryan, it's Muth up here with Dobbs in the booth, and what did you just see down there in the corner?
The answer is I didn't see much of anything until it happened.
Is it because you had your aviators on?
Always.
Always rocking the aviators underneath that Oculus is pretty impressive. Tell us how much damage is done to this Turbo Dork Radical Paints entry with just, I believe we're going to go green-white checker here. Can you still make this happen? Can you still salvage this day?
I think I can. It doesn't feel any more than a couple scuffs. Yeah, I'll buff right out, and we'll have this car looking nice and pretty for next time.
Has your spotter actually told you what your car looks like?
I asked him not to say.
That's probably a good thing, because let me tell you, son, that ain't buffing out. But tell us about how this track has really transitioned here tonight. Have we seen that middle to top groove come in just yet?
Not personally for me. I I find that as the race goes on, the bottom lane got easier somehow. But I'm not questioning it. I'll take it.
Not questioning it, you're taking. All right, well, you keep the 98 singing a song because old Dobbs here is really pulling for you.
I appreciate it.
I love the 98, son.
So Ryan O'Donnell just having just a couple of scuffs, he says, from his crew. He'll stay out there and try to get it done here tonight. We will go into red light racing overtime here tonight at Nashville. Dobbs, everybody loves a little extra racing, and that's what these fans are going to get here tonight. You know what the best part is?
We get to stay a little more time in the booth.
It's free admission.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody's
free.
charged extra to watch any more extra racing here tonight.
That's always good. You know, I like a little overtime here and there.
How about if the Tennessee Titans were in overtime? Do you love that?
No, because it really stresses me out.
What about if the Tennessee Volunteers football team went to overtime?
I tell you what, I'd probably be going nuts, and I just don't like close games with Tennessee Volunteers.
Well, then how do you think the 42 of Max Terriot feels right now, knowing that he had the race lead, it was in command, and now he has to go to overtime to decide if he can win this or not?
Well, he's probably talking to his crew chief and spotters, you know, when they're trying to get him calmed down a little bit here and there. And he's probably thinking of little butterflies and bees and stuff out in the field on a beautiful spring day. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of to get him to calm down.
I wish it was a beautiful spring day with bees and whatever out in the field, because it is cold here in Pennsylvania, that is for sure. But what we can tell you is the great iRacing.com pace car lights have gone out, and we will go racing in overtime here tonight at Nashville. We do have, I believe, just one attempt at a green and white checker attempt, I believe. Don't quote me, Dobbs. I think it's one. It might be two. Maybe you know that.
Yeah, it should be two. And, you know, real quick, Blade Timmons is out here PMing me right now as we are getting ready to go green. That's pretty impressive.
Well, you know what would impress me, Dobbs, is if he can finish this one off in the top 5 while messaging you and sending you a Snapchat.
Hey, if I can see his long hair, I'm all in.
So let's see, as he'll restart back there, Pete number 6 to the outside of his affiliated teammate, car number 11 of Sean Single. You said it before, Dobbs, under 10 to go. There's no teammates out there. You wreck your mom to win this race.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, to win a race in Nashville, somebody's getting dumped. I don't care if you're Ken or not.
Well, here we go. It'll be Max Terriot, Sean Butler, Chris Hammett, Jason Wells when we come back into the restart zone here tonight. Overtime starts now, race fans. Here we go. 2-lap shootout to see who's going to figure this one out. Terriot with another great restart. Sean Butler, a little bit of a sluggish start there, but he'll sail it off into turn number 1. He'll come out of turn number 2 in the second position. Chris Hammond has third, but here comes the 64. Wells will look to the outside of him. Sean Butler with a little bit of a block that time there to the number 6 of Chris Hammond. Max Terriot will be looking for the white flag this time by. Will he be able to get to the start-finish line? White flag is in the air. It is 1 lap to go here. Presented by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. It's the final trip around the Speedway here at Nashville. Big moment. There's the 88 as Sean Butler went down into the corner. That car went straight. He'll slide up the speedway. Max Terriot will scoot away. Looks like he will be in clear sailing, but the battle is still for second. Butler to the outside. The Winn-Dixie 4 down to the bottom side. It'll be a drag race. Max Terriot will win here tonight at Nashville. Coming across the line for second. Give it to Sean Butler. Butler just going to pull off the second place. Then it'll be Chris Hammond, Jason Wells, Blade Timmons with a 5th place finish. Sean Single will finish 6th. Then it'll be Michael Trevarthen down there in the 7th position. Ethan Troutman in 8th. Tony Strano in 9th. Brandon Minto will clinch a top 10 finish. And for the race fans that are following for the Tony Strano and Joe Strano saga, it will be Tony Strano finishing better than his brother Joe. Joe will finish 11th. Tony will finish in the 9th position. So Max Terriel will win here tonight. He'll get the virtual guitar here in Nashville. We'll see if he knows how to play a guitar in victory lane here tonight. He'll come down here to the front straightaway. He'll go past the starter flag. He'll go down into turn number 1, turn car 42 around, and he'll come back around virtually to thank all of you race fans, as he always does, before he burns down the tires on the back of car number 42. He doesn't need them, and he didn't need this win, but he went out there and he grabbed it here tonight. He wins here tonight in Nashville. He won the season opener. Remember when we went to the Atlanta Motor Speedway with the NASCAR Gander Outdoors trucks? So 2 wins on 2 different style of tracks. A 1.5-mile track he has won at. And he's also won here at the 1.33-mile Nashville Superspeedway. He'll be the first one ever to pick up a win here in Nashville for the Scrambler Series. Race fans, don't go anywhere. We'll be back here from the Nashville Superspeedway to talk to that man that's down there on the front straightaway. Car 42, the MK Medic Machine, is your winner here tonight from Nashville.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was always fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos or danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all will be kept in the pits. Not to mention that with members in over 130 countries already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series and work your way up to one of 7 world championships, offering over $500,000 in prize money. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back here to the Nashville Superspeedway race fans for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series here tonight for Red Light Racing. They had to go to a little bit of overtime here in the Music City to figure out which one of these drivers was going to go to victory lane for the first time ever to be crowned a winner here at Nashville. And race fans, I believe this race put on one heck of a race here that these drivers attempted here tonight. I believe we will see this back on the schedule at some point in a coming season schedule that will be released. Just in a couple of weeks. I can't spoil it. But what I can tell you is we got to go down to victory lane here tonight. Max Terriel will pick up his 2nd win of the season. Max, another strong showing here for the 42 and a domination race. It kind of seemed once you got the 42 out front, you just ran away from the boys out back.
That's what I was hoping for tonight. Some long green flag runs, and unfortunately at the end it didn't happen, but still worked out. For me, I really like this track. It looks like a cookie cutter track, just like Vegas or Kansas or the other that look alike, but it drives differently. It's narrower. Got to use the brakes, and tire wear comes in. I prepared in advance for this race, and the fact that we raced last season also helped to know how to be fast in tonight's race.
How hard is it with the concrete out there? We don't get to race many concrete tracks.
I think you just have to be more patient at the apex in the middle of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to get the car to rotate, or it just plows the right front more than other track. It feels like it's maybe not as much sensitive as other tracks like Atlanta with the temperature, but it is one that needs to stay here in red light and in real life also.
And yeah, you are correct. I quoted you as being the first winner, and that is correct. The first winner with the Xfinity car Sean Butler, who finished second, as you allude to, actually won the Truck Series race last season here. But they put on both great showings. I guess we got to bring the Cup car back next time, right?
Yeah, the next gen car. We'll see how it goes in this type of track. Hopefully, we get someday a high horsepower package here, and it'll definitely be fast on the straights, and you'll have to slow down the cars in the corners, just like, well, I think what they're trying to achieve with these new cars.
Well, you did it once again here, Max. We will head to the Tricky Triangle on November the 22nd. Are you ready for that one?
Yeah, it's been hit or miss for me lately over there, so we'll see how testing goes, and hope for a green race, just like we did at Atlanta to start the season.
Well, before we let you go, you know the drill. The red carpet rolls out. The microphone is yours. Who do you got to thank here tonight in Nashville?
Yep, as usual, my girlfriend, my friend Max, and my dad. A shout out to Turn 3 Network for the broadcast, and Checkered Flag Auto Supply for coming on board this season to sponsor this Scrambler series. So thanks to them, and we'll see you guys next week.
There you hear it from your winner tonight. Max Tarrant will celebrate his second win of the season. Congratulations to him and the whole crew from Ontario, Canada, as he goes to victory lane. So that takes, well, another couple points away from drivers like Sean Butler that have not won a race yet. Sean, a second place finish. Did you have anything left in the tank for the 42 of Max?
I was starting on the outside 6 times in a row, but a couple times there I was able to get in the corner pretty good on the restarts. It just, it's just not the ideal line out there, so I just have to slow down just a little bit more. And it just is what it is. I feel like I was pretty happy with my speed. I wasn't sure what I would have for Max, but it seemed like it's pretty good until I scraped the wall going into one, and then it kind of lost a little bit of speed. But on the fresh tires, I was good still.
Fresh tires, you were good, but tell us about the outside lane, the concrete. Did it take the rubber to make a groove out there? We saw some guys make it work, and some guys couldn't do it.
On entry, there's just a weird bump going into one, and it kind of makes the car wash up. So you either got to go super wide or dive over it and just know it's going to happen. So I was taking a super wide entry, and that seemed to help a lot, but it sure got loose in the center because it was turning in so hard and on those restarts. But it is what it is. Glad to come home second. It's better than 19th like last week.
It'll be a good points night for you, that is for sure. Sean, who made this all possible back home in Ohio.
I just want to thank the guy that wrecked me last week, James. he helped me with my line here today and got me to help me figure it out. I was, felt like I had it down, but it wasn't quite where I needed it to be. But it was good to work with him and continue forward with our team. And then just got to thank you out there for doing a broadcast and all the admins here at Red Light. And thanks, title sponsor, like Max said, for coming on board, Check Flag Auto Parts, and hopefully we can keep them on here for a while and they like what they see, and look forward to next week.
Sean Butler having a much better night here tonight in Nashville than he did 1 week ago at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. He'll finish in the second spot, and I guess we can go home. We don't have to interview. Oh, they're telling me we do have to interview. All right, Chris Abbott, come over here. A great finish here tonight for the Winn-Dixie Ford. How did you make this all possible? You started third, you finished third here tonight.
Yeah, we had a good run tonight. Really needed it too. Had a dumb mistake at Atlanta, cost us a definite top 5 finish, and connection issues last week cost us, I think, a definite top 10 finish if we could have survived. So really needed to turn this season around before it really got away from us. Had speed every week. We qualified up front every week. Just hadn't seemed to put it together until tonight. So it was nice to finally tie one all together here.
You talk about bad races and how things have started. 32nd tonight coming into the points. That's where you started this race out at. You dropped 18 points after connection issues. This reminds me a lot of last season. We watched Richard Murdoch go through, holding up the foundation for the first 4 races of the season. This race right now, though, can this springboard you, propel you into having more consistent podium, top 5, top 10 finishes? Because either it's win or point our way to the championship.
Well, I sure hope so. You know, and it's funny you mentioned Richard's season last year. That's all I could think about after the first two races. I'm like, this is exactly like Richard's season last year, where just nothing goes right, whether that's my fault or connection issues or God forbid, you know, we've kept the car clean all year, but you know that's bound to happen at some point. You know, the points will be what they'll be. You know, we just need to tie consistent runs together. You know. Sure, I would love to finally win one of these things. I just need Max to slow down a little bit once in a while. But you know, really good night tonight. Felt like we had really good long run speed, which is something I think I tend to lack. You know, keeping up with Max and when James was in there and Sean and those guys. So just gotta keep this stuff rolling. You know, go to Pocono and try to pull out another one.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in Pocono here. A solid run for you tonight. A lot of guys back at home, though, making this possible in the shop.
Yeah, well, first off, I have to thank my girlfriend for letting me come hide back here in this room for 2.5 hours every night. I forgot to mention her last time I was up here, so I'm going to make sure I mention her first. So thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. And I love you. You know, got to thank Josh and Richard and James for doing a great job running this thing. You know, we go to some awesome tracks, run some awesome cars, except the 87 car. And they do a fantastic job. Got to thank our awesome voice, Roger. As much as he is very annoying, he does do a great job. You know, and just yeah, it's all great.
So before you leave, we do have to ask you the question: how much did Brandon Minto pay you to say that?
I plead the fifth.
Well, there you have it, race fans. I don't know if that's Brandon Minto driving car number 6 here tonight, or if that is Chris Hammett. Regardless, the 6th car will be scored P number 3. Great run here tonight for Chris Hammett to try and turn his season around. Take a look here at the rest of our standings as we get ready to leave the Nashville Superspeedway. Dobbs, it was a great race here from Nashville as these drivers put on one whale of a show.
Yeah, it was a real good race to watch and the broadcast, and it was I hope it was a good show for the fans because I really enjoyed it.
Of course, you know, there is your standings. A couple drivers having some very disappointing nights. That's, you know, maybe they might want to forget this, like Brian Bianchi, Tim Combs, and the John Deere entry. There you see James Skelton came in with a hot streak tonight, though that hot streak will end. He will finish 29th. How about Tim Williams and Dalton Williamson? They will finish well down the pecking order at the end of this one. I thought tonight, though, this track here in Tennessee put on one heck of a race, especially for these Checkered Flag Auto Supply Scrambler Series drivers with Red Light Racing. I can't wait to see what we do 1 week from now when we get the NASCAR Generation 6 machines out onto the Tricky Triangle. We bring them back north here to the state of Pennsylvania, just down the road from our Turn 3 Racing Network headquarters here in Pennsylvania. See which one of these drivers can dance and tangle with Tricky the Fox at Pocono. We're going to have to wait, though, until next week to find that out. So, race fans, with everybody with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply with Red Light Racing. That is Racing Jason Dobbs there in Tennessee. My name is Roger Muth here in the Turn 3 Racing Network. We thank you all for tuning in here tonight. And everybody, stay safe so we can see you at the races.